Hello everybody, my name's Alize Blea, and this is my project for Developmental Psychology for Miss Furiski's class. Let's get started. Things I learned throughout this course. Erik Erikson's theory focus on psychosocial developments in crisis. Some of these principles being trust and mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt, intentive versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation, generativity versus socialization, integrity versus despair. Lev Vygotsky theory focuses on human cognitive development, believes socialization is the key for proper child development, ZPD, zone of development, and MKO, more knowledge other. This theory is considered unfinished due to Vygotsky's unexpected death at a young age. Lawrence Kohlberg theory study children morality development. There are levels and 6 stages: premortal, obey punishment, and instrumental orientation, conventional, good child and law and order, post-conventional, social contact, and universal ethic principles. Jean Piaget's theory, childhood growth-based, focused on sensorimotor, pre-operations, concrete operations, and formal operations. Socialization in different cultures. Socialization, the process by which an individual becomes a member of a particular culture and takes on its values, beliefs, and other behaviors in order to function within it. Cultural context is important to socialization as each society has their own values within their society. Example is the West normally is seen as individualistic, while the East is mostly seen as collectivist. Development of infants. Infants start developing the instant that they are born, from using their senses, learning about their bodies, absorbing information, attempts of communication, and exploring their new world. Cultural context within families. Different cultures typically have varying traditions and values to family life. Social, environmental, historical, class, and even religious reasons are some factors that shape children's views and individualities. Life stages. Infancy relies on caregivers for overall care. Feeding and sleeping are necessary for cognitive development. Childhood begins formal learning and socialization with peers within school. Forms of parent cultural belief systems of raising their children are implemented. Adolescence, coming of age with rites of passage, ceremonies or rituals that recognize or symbolize an individual's movement from one status to another. The beginning search of identity through peers, microsystems, macrosystems, and metrosystems. Adulthood, typically being able to support themselves, have careers, and intimate relationships. Adaptive, logic, and dialectical thinking develops. Late adulthood, starts a family, guide the newer generation, and have generosity. Fluid knowledge and crystallized intelligence is gained. Cultural views on aging. The views in North America are mostly looked down on towards the elderly with little resources for them. Other cultures such as South America, African, and Asian cultures, older individuals are viewed in much respect, play many roles in raising families, though industrialization threats these traditional views. The eventual end. Everybody will be faced with death at some point in their lives. A good death is when we are satisfied with our life's achievements. A bad death is when we're unable to make our last choices or regret our life choices. My change of perspective influenced by developmental psychology. I think we can all agree that there's a fear of the unknown. While I do try my best to be open, there's still times that I'm not, and I want to correct that. Prior to this class, I have had a grasp of how the culture, societies, and socialization affect individuals and make them who they are, but not gain the whole picture, such as considering the elderly. Now knowing the information I do know, I will continue to consider their background as individuals and strive to understand people and recognize differences without criticism. Knowledge towards the future. I have had ideas of what I wanted to do with my career afterwards. The occupation I would love to do is becoming a child or adolescent counselor and soon hopefully a therapist. Going into this field, I must not be biased or opinionated. I must have the best interest for my clients, and I want to do my best with helping them cope with the problems they might have, of which that might be developmental background based. If it's giving advice towards their situation or just being there to hear my patients, I want to support them the best way I can. I always wanted to help others, so taking this course has been both informational and very beneficial. Thank you everybody for watching my video. I had a great time taking this course, and I hope you all have a great summer.